Hi, Kashif. Nice of you to join the Secrets of Talent. Really appreciate your time. I'd be very keen to get an understanding of more about IBM and some of the work you do around your degree apprenticeships, in particular as an employer, which is quite important as well.
So, Isa, thank you very much for inviting me to do this recording with you. I know we've known each other for a few years now, but we haven't had a chance to work together. So I really appreciate you reaching out and giving me this opportunity to talk a little bit more about what we do at IBM and apprenticeships. So, as you, I mean, you know, but some people watching might not know, I'm here at IBM. I'm the apprenticeship lead. Have been for the past kind of 2 or 3 years or so. I think the apprenticeship space is really dynamic. It's fast changing, it's moving, and it's a really hot topic for a variety of different reasons. But kind of understanding a little bit more about IBM and degree apprenticeships. I mean, in terms of IBM, we're kind of one of the largest technology companies in the world, one of the oldest as well. Um, and we're famous for innovation and the things that we've created to make the world work better. So to give you some old school examples, the barcode. Not many people know that IBM actually invented the barcode. The ATM machine, another invention. If we just think about those two kind of simple things that we take for granted every day, just imagine a world without the barcode and how would you do your shopping and taking cash out the machine, etc. So the impact that IBM has on society in general has been huge. IBM really focuses now on cloud and AI and good tech. So using technology for good, for the good of society, for sustainability, climate change, improving the environment, etc. That's what IBM essentially is about right now, and has a huge history in kind of social inclusion, etc. In terms of degree apprenticeships, we were there at the very start, really. So when David Cameron, ex Prime Minister, launched degree apprenticeships in March 2015, we were one of the founding employers, and that we've been on the Trailblazer Group for Digital and Technology Solutions, really pushing that forward. IBM was also instrumental in campaigning for the word degree to stay in degree apprenticeships because that had come up for question, and we were really instrumental in pushing the agenda and explaining why it's really important to keep that word in. I mean, Isa, let's take this as a two-way conversation. What's your view on keeping the word degree in degree apprenticeships?
Well, look, this whole campaign has been all related to National Careers Week and National Apprenticeship Week, and degree apprenticeships, in my opinion, have been a real game changer in terms of how people access talent. Number one, number two, how individuals can access opportunities outside of traditional forms of getting a degree. So this isn't to say that uh, degree apprenticeships are there to replace current degrees, because there's a place for traditional degrees. This is there to say skills can be achieved through other means and other routes in a sort of face to face, in a practical means. But then, so certainly, from your perspective, degree apprenticeships has. I mean, how has it enhanced your employer attraction and recruitment strategy?
So I guess if we're going to give you some hard figures, our total apprenticeship population, about 60% are degree apprentices. Most of them are doing digital and technology solutions because that really works well with our business because uh, we don't recruit apprentices just in a pool. We recruit apprentices because of actual business need and business demand. So where are the gaps? Where are the skills gaps? Where do we need extra kind of entry level resources? Can an apprentice fulfill that role? And that's how we drive kind of our recruitment internally and then down to attraction. And that 60% is a combination of level six and some level seven as well. So we have existing employees, we call them IBMers, doing an apprenticeship, or We have what we call the ladder of opportunity, which I know is a phrase that's been used before, where we have an apprentice who's done a level four or even level three, and they're really aspiring to do a degree apprenticeship. And the business support that case as well. So that's where we have like another upskilling opportunity.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And so, from a when you go out and do outreach, do you feel as though the degree apprenticeship has sort of helped you in terms of speaking to those communities where potentially you may not have had access to?
Absolutely. So to give you a couple of examples of kind of outreach work that we're currently doing is with Manchester Metropolitan University. So we attended their open evening in September, and we've got another one just coming up next week. And what I really noticed there is just I know they're award winning in terms of degree apprenticeships, and they're one of the biggest organizations that recruit apprentices in onto their programs, enroll them. But just the diversity, Isa, I mean, you see it yourself, I guess, compared to like 5 years ago, just the range of people, different backgrounds. We know that, to give an example, maybe I've heard some stories about those from a South Asian type background. Maybe the parents aren't so keen for them to do an apprenticeship and go down the traditional route, but I'm really seeing that start to change. And I hear kind of other apprentices tell their stories about really trying to convince their parents that and their family that an apprenticeship or a degree apprenticeship is a really good option, and it is. It's a fantastic option for a young person or not a young person as well. So somebody who wants a career change.
That's interesting. I mean, just touch on some of the points that you just mentioned there. Do you see a role degree apprenticeships could play in actually addressing some of the sort of needs around underrepresentation, and in particular and importantly, social mobility as an employer?
Definitely. I think the main thing is for underrepresented groups, there is that barrier to affordability to be able to pay to do a degree. And the option of getting your degree paid for through the apprenticeship levy, getting a salary as well, so earning, learning at the same time, and not having any debt, is a really attractive um, proposition. And I mean, I'm going to make a sweeping statement here, but I do notice a number of apprentices that they're kind of really sensible with planning in terms of their money, their income. They really have aspirations to save up and get a flat or buy a car or support their families, etc. So I do see them as kind of role models, and they're really hardworking as well. So to be able to study and work at the same time and meet both commitments, you've got to have excellent kind of organizational skills, and they develop that.
And do you see degree apprenticeships having a long term future when it comes to um, apprenticeships and apprenticeship recruitment?
Oh, I really hope so. I mean, because our businesses are demanding them, because it's a good fit. It gives that kind of breadth, and recruits kind of attracts the right sort of talent, the talent that they're looking for and we're looking for. But that's not to say that the level fours and the level threes, there's definitely brilliant options for those who just don't want to go down the degree pathway. And at IBM, regardless of which apprenticeship pathway you are on, whether level three or level four or level six, you get paid the same salary. So we treat you the same.
Okay, wow.
That's really important to kind of note. But yeah, I really hope that the landscape is going to change even further, and maybe over 50% of degrees offered are going to be degree apprenticeships in 5 years' time. I hope so.
So you just made a wish, but I'm gonna ask you a question then. If you had superpowers and you had the opportunity to reform, this would be my final question to yourself. If you had superpowers and you had the opportunity to reform apprenticeships, what three things would you do?
Oh gosh, three things. I might struggle with three, but the first one, my first wish that I just gave there, that is over 50% in 5 years' time of degree apprenticeships being offered across all universities. My second wish would be that schools and colleges have a target for apprenticeships, similar that they have, targets for GCSEs, A level results. I would like to see that built in. Um, and I guess my third wish again is around that underrepresentation and social mobility, that there are more incentives. The government puts more incentives in place for those from underrepresented backgrounds to have an opportunity to do an apprenticeship.
That's a good way of ending it. Thank you very much, Kashif, for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.